Hi, my name's Bryden. I'm gonna talk about the traumatic experience that was getting my tonsils removed because, shut up, this is my story. The year was 2022. This was not my surgery year, this was years prior to my surgery, but the year was 2022. Also, before I start, because I'm gonna be thinking about it the whole time, my feet don't touch the floor, and I'm just gonna be kicking my feet here like a little child. It's great, and I got my Captain America socks on. I just wanted to put that out in the universe. Anyway, yeah, so 2022 was the first time in my life that I got tonsillitis, and that sucked. That was so bad, I had no idea what it was. I was like, oh, I'm sick. And then, naturally, my tonsils were massive already, like,
pretty big for a tonsil.
that's pretty big for a freaking tonsil, right? Both of them were that size too. So I looked in the mirror one day when I was just brushing my teeth and I saw something at the back of my throat. I was like, what the heck is that? And I was like, in the mirror, you know, as you do to try to like see into the back of your throat. And them's tonsils were nasty. Like they had little like white squiggles and like whatever's all over them. So gross, so whatever. Went away after a few days, thank goodness. Then June 2022, first time I ever had strep throat. That also sucked. Took me out for about a week and a half. I was like, hey, this is way worse than last time. I didn't know it was strep throat until I went to the clinic because I was like, that's what I sounded like. It was really like there was no air going in or out. So they were like, hey, that's strep throat. Here's some antibiotics. Those will ruin your life. Let me tell you, antibiotics are not great. You will be pooping your pants for about a week straight. Pure orange liquid. And orange is like one of my favorite colors. It's just a tidbit for all you people out there. I have no shame. I'm talking about this openly. Anyway, I was good. Yeah, I was good for about a year after that, actually. It was fine. And then 2023 came, and then like a year on the dot, I got strep again in June. And I think it was because I was working with kids so much, and those kids have germs. I'm a teacher, by the way, if you didn't know this. And I got strep again, and then I went to the clinic, and I was like, hey, and then they were like, we're gonna put in a referral for you to see an ENT. And I was like, okay, awesome, cool. Nothing happened. That was it. They just put in the referral. And the list to like get on the surgery list is like 3.5 years. Another year goes by. It is now 2024. Sure enough, June comes along and like clockwork, strep throat hits me again. And I was like, wow, this really sucks. So then finally, they were like, we're gonna like bump you on the list. So a week later, when I still had strep, they sent me to the surgeon. His name is He's an asshole, by the way. Bleep that out. He was not the nicest guy, but to be fair, that was like one of his few office days where he was seeing like 100 people in the day just to try to get them signed off on things, so giving him a little grace. He took one look at me and he was like, gross. I remember that distinctly. He looked at me and he was like, gross. Signed the thing and off he went, and there I was going in for surgery 3 weeks later. It was really great. It was not really great. Apparently, the reason they don't do surgeries when you're an adult is because the healing process is so much worse. Like when you're a kid, you've got some kind of like magical healing powers. I don't know what it is. But like, my little cousin got his tonsils out 2 weeks after I did. And within 3 days, he was eating pizza. Probably shouldn't have been eating pizza because he still had stitches in, but 3 days later, he was eating pizza. I didn't touch solid food for 17 days after I got my tonsils out. Couldn't even eat a popsicle, couldn't do ice, couldn't do anything. Like the only thing I was getting was like tiny sips of water every 30 minutes. And I had all the drugs that they had me on, the painkillers. I had no appetite, no nothing. So there I was laying, rotting in bed for 17 days without any food. And that was the best diet, most like beautiful thing I've ever been on in my life. It sucked. Don't do that. It was awful. Another reason, my surgeon, actually told me that I was one of the worst recoveries that he had ever seen in his career as a surgeon, because I went to the hospital less than 24 hours after I had my surgery because I started bleeding again. And it was not great, and I was really scared, and I was by myself. And then they took me into this back room and they were like, we just kind of have to wait till it stops. And if it doesn't stop, then we'll send you in for cauterization. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, awesome. It stopped. I went home. Day later, went back in, started bleeding again. One of my stitches had fallen out 5 days early. So there I was, again, alone in the hospital. And then I was really anxious. And then I had a panic attack, one of my first panic attacks ever. I was in the hospital and I started crying. And all I could think about was my grandma for some reason. I just missed her. I hadn't seen her in a really long time. That was it. And then during that whole recovery process, I was like, I need something to ground me because I am not having a good time. So I watched Captain America, The Winter Soldier. As you do. Best Marvel movie, hands down, is Winter Soldier. Bucky Barnes was actually like one of my first crushes as a child. I was like 14 years old watching that movie, and I was like, that one right there. You know when you're like walking through a pet store and then you see like the animal that you've chemically bonded with just on sight, you look at it, you're like, that one. That was me with Bucky Barnes. It was a great time. Then I watched it again, and then I felt better. It was fine. Apparently they don't do tonsil surgeries on adults because it's not medically necessary anymore, which I think is an absolute load of hooey. It's not good. There's like a weird rule that they follow that like you need at least 7 infections in a year, or 5 a year for 2 years, or 3 a year for more than 3 years consecutively. And also, when you're a child, it's like your first line of defense. I don't know why my mom never thought to get my tonsils out because I was a crazy loud snorer, and they never suspected sleep apnea or anything. But I should have had my tonsils out as I was a kid. And apparently they grow back, so I could be up for round 2 in a couple of years, and we'll just see how it goes. Yeah, don't get your tonsils out if you don't need to. It's horrible. It was the worst experience of my life. On that note, I'm thinking about Bucky Barnes again. He's Sebastian Stan. I don't like him that much. I like Bucky Barnes, but I don't really like Sebastian Stan. It's a weird thing. There's a question in the peanut gallery.
Yeah, have you ever gotten your tonsils removed?
I was expecting more. Yeah, no, that's not something I've ever gone through. But if I ever had to have that experience, I would hope it would be okay. If I ever... You're an asshole, Ben. Yeah, I don't know. That was my chat. That was just be wary of surgeons.
Wow, that sounds more traumatic than what Bucky Barnes went through.
Dude, Bucky Barnes was like mostly unconscious for most of that. Let me tell you, anytime he goes into cryogenesis, there's nothing going on behind those eyes. They are just pretty blue eyes, no thoughts. Just blank slate, like...
Would you have preferred that for your tonsils?
Oh my god, yes.
What if they gave What if they gave you Soviet era like bionic tonsils?
Oh.
Ooh.
I'm gonna have to say no because I don't want to risk any affiliations with the wrong groups of people. Like he had to go. Great. Nowadays, maybe if the technology is there, but I don't know.
You get ones that like have saws and like grind things.
Oh my god, that would cause me more damage. I would feel horrible for anyone I had to kiss after that.
Like a human like garbage.
Well, I don't know if they get their tongue far enough back there.
Hey, yo!
Bucky Barnes.
Bucky Barnes
Hey,
would do it. Just saying. I'm telling you, man. The way he looks at the end of Thunderbolts in the post-credit scene with that hair and the new suit. He looks like a dad, and I don't know what it is about that. He gives like more daddy energy than he ever has before. Like before, he was just like some greasy guy just trying to make his way in the world. But like at the end of Thunderbolts, after he's like adopted all of these misfits, he's got like that big leadership energy, and I don't know what it is about that, but I was like, I don't know. Man bun Bucky though, is it Infinity War or Endgame? I don't know. He like stops in the middle of a fight to like put his hair in a man bun. Didn't do it for me. Question from the peanut gallery.
Would you like Bucky less or more if you got his tonsils removed?
Ooh, that's a great question, but I think we might have to save that for the next segment because I actually have a meeting with my surgeon to get checked on now that it's been over a year. So I gotta skedat. It was nice to see you guys. Don't perceive me.
Okay.
Yeah.